You ever wonder what happens when you mix hot lava and chicken?
Uh-oh.
Weird. Let's keep it real. Technoblade's cameo alone outshines Rachel Zegler's whole career. And honestly, that career might be on its last legs. Because after throwing shade at the classic Snow White, and now supposedly getting pressed by Jack Black behind the scenes, Rachel's Hollywood journey is spiraling fast. And hey, not gonna lie, it feels kinda satisfying to watch this all unfold. But enough talk. Buckle up, because this next part, wild. Let's dive into Minecraft, the movie. A film based on a game where you literally punch trees to build a house. Sounds goofy, right? Critics said it would tank, analysts brushed it off like a joke. But then came the audience. And they flipped the whole script. Theaters were packed out, kids were yelling like they were at a music festival. Grown folks were cracking up. Teenagers rolled in wearing tuxedos like it was prom night. It didn't feel like just another movie. It was a straight-up cultural moment, a wild celebration of childhood vibes, creative chaos, and all-out fun. And guess what? Minecraft, the movie, actually delivered. It was goofy, lighthearted, and totally knew what it was doing. The Easter eggs? Legendary. The references? On point. It didn't just play to nostalgia, it respected it. Yeah, it's made for kids, no doubt, but it didn't treat them like they were clueless. It pulled them in with open arms. No corny life lessons shoved down their throats. Just good times, bright colors, and a whole lot of love for the blocky world that started it all. This movie didn't try to be deep, it just said, wanna have fun for 90 minutes? And the crowd screamed yes? And right at the heart of all that madness, Jack Black. That man could never be boring even if he tried. He played a totally wild Minecraft-style NPC, like your goofy in-game guide who's somehow both clueless and genius at the same time. And the way he did it? Pure gold. Even his corniest lines had people howling. That one quote, "We mine, then we craft," might have just become the most unexpected cultural reset of the year. He sang his heart out, cracked nonstop jokes, had kids falling out of their seats laughing and adults grinning like it was 2005 again. But here's where things really get juicy. Behind the scenes, there's a rumor blowing up online, and it's got everyone talking. Word on the street is that Jack Black might have pulled a power move and confronted Rachel Zegler during a press event. Now, this hasn't been officially confirmed, but it's gone so viral that it's practically Hollywood myth now. The story goes that Jack didn't yell, didn't make a scene. He just straight up asked her about her attitude toward the whole Snow White press mess, like calmly questioned if calling fans trolls and brushing off critics was really the smartest move. Allegedly, that was the moment things snapped. Some say she stormed out. Others say she got emotional. Either way, her socials went dead quiet. Press events got weird. Her usual online chatter vanished. Suddenly, the Snow White PR machine slammed the brakes and panic mode kicked in. Whether or not this showdown really happened, people are treating it like fact now. People ran with this Jack Black versus Rachel Zegler rumor because it meant something. It felt like one actor was fighting to keep that special bond with fans alive, while the other was acting like the audience was just an annoying obstacle in the way. And now, here we are, back at the downfall of Snow White, a movie that should have been a guaranteed win for Disney. We're talking about the original Disney princess here, the one that launched the whole empire. But instead of respecting that legacy, they didn't just try to refresh it, they tore it up and slapped something completely unrecognizable on top of it.
The cartoon was made 85 years ago, and therefore it's extremely dated when it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world. And so when we came to reimagining the actual role of Snow White, it became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just and who can become a fantastic leader. And the reality is, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over a kingdom.
Not a thoughtful update, not a respectful modern twist, just a full-on demolition job with a totally different message. And that message came loud and clear from Rachel Zegler herself. She went on a press tour clowning the 1937 classic, calling it outdated, laughing at the old-school prince rescues princess story, and flexing hard that her Snow White doesn't need a man. And sure, there's nothing wrong with a modern take, but the way she said it, straight up dismissive. Then came the quote that lit the internet on fire: "People will always come see me no matter what."
And to everyone who hates when I win, the winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces. And people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
That one did not age well. Fans weren't clapping, they weren't impressed. They felt pushed away. And instead of excitement, the movie started attracting side eyes and bad vibes. It wasn't just a flop in the making, it was turning into a full-blown PR nightmare. The audience clapped back hard, with memes, roast videos, and brutal edits showing Rachel Zegler sitting solo in empty theaters on premiere night, surrounded by nothing but rows of untouched red seats. It didn't just flop, it turned into a symbol of what's gone wrong with today's remake culture. And this time, the backlash wasn't just from the usual critics. Even the old-school Disney faithful, the ones who still tear up hearing "When You Wish Upon a Star," were fed up. They weren't begging for perfection. They just wanted that spark, that feeling, that magic. But instead, they got what felt like a cold lecture on why that magic doesn't matter anymore. Behind the scenes, it was a total mess. Disney execs were losing it. Test screenings bombed so badly that whole scenes got chopped out. Then, just weeks before the premiere, they scrambled into last-minute reshoots. Full-on damage control mode was activated. PR teams were spinning nonstop. And rumor has it, even Bob Iger was in disbelief, asking how a billion-dollar fairy tale turned into a billion-dollar nightmare. And while Snow White was crumbling under its own reboot chaos, Minecraft. The movie, a film with no legacy expectations and a plot built around punching blocks, skyrocketed past every prediction. Opening weekend, over $300 million. Snow White struggled to pass $160 million after 3 weeks. The difference was crystal clear. One was a fun, goofy, crowd-pleasing ride that got its audience. The other felt like an overly serious school project with no heart. One knew what people wanted. The other forgot who it was even for. Audiences aren't mad about change. They're not allergic to modern values. What does make them mad? Being talked down to like they don't get it. What people really hate is when a story loses its heart just to push a message no one asked for. Snow White didn't feel like a magical adventure. It felt like a lecture. Meanwhile, Minecraft felt like a straight-up party. Jack Black had people smiling, laughing, and vibing from start to finish. Rachel Zegler, she brought drama, but the wrong kind, and you could feel the difference. Jack dove headfirst into the weird, blocky world and made it sparkle. Rachel acted like she was above the role that gave her the spotlight in the first place. That's why this whole mess hit people so hard. It wasn't just a bad movie flop, it was a wake-up call. It showed what happens when studios stop listening, is when actors stop connecting, and when classic stories get flipped into something fans can't even recognize anymore. Disney had the golden ticket right in their hands, the fairy tale, the nostalgia, the name that built the brand. But they let it all slip, chasing some bold new message that barely anyone was feeling, delivered by a star who didn't seem invested. Now, Jack Black, in a movie where he screams about Redstone and TNT, is out here wearing the box office crown. Sure, Rachel Zegler might bounce back. She's still got time and talent isn't the issue. But the real takeaway here isn't just about her. It's a loud, flashing sign to every studio banking on big names instead of big hearts. You can't just slap a legendary title on a script and expect loyalty. If fans don't feel respected, they won't show up. Audiences want joy, they want magic, and yeah, sometimes they just want to watch Steve knock out a zombie while Jack Black belts a ridiculous tune in the background. Because Minecraft didn't try to be deep. It tried to be real. And that sincerity, that's what Hollywood keeps fumbling. Not every kid's movie needs to carry some heavy message or world-changing agenda. Sometimes people just want to feel that the folks behind the camera actually enjoyed making it and that they genuinely care about the people sitting in the seats. There's something special, almost rare now, about a film that simply says, "We're here to make you smile." And Minecraft did exactly that. The audience felt it, and they responded with love, laughter, and sold-out showings. Meanwhile, Disney took one of their most legendary fairy tales and twisted it into a billboard for corporate pride. And it wasn't just about one actress acting distant, it was the whole machine behind her. A system that thought it could bulldoze over fans' expectations and still collect billions. But that system, it's starting to crack, hard. And Snow White might be the breaking point that finally forced Disney to face reality. Maybe they'll get the message, maybe they won't, but it's out there now, and it's loud. Because when a movie full of blocky pixels, chicken jokes, and meme-worthy chaos connects with people on a deeper emotional level than a polished $250 million Disney remake, yeah, something's way off. It just goes to show fun ain't dead, joy isn't cringy, and respecting your audience, that's not optional anymore, it's essential. There's a real craving out there for joy-driven storytelling. People aren't showing up for recycled hype or preachy lectures. They want that spark, that feeling that pulls them into a theater and makes them forget the world for a while. They're looking for something real, something that actually makes them feel. And somehow, Minecraft got that. That's what makes all this so wild. It wasn't a flawless film, it didn't need to be. But it knew its purpose. Bring people happiness. That's it. No overthinking, no ego. Just a movie that wanted to lift spirits and have a good time. And that's why this whole scenario is turning into a major warning sign for the industry. Studios can't keep grabbing beloved characters and twisting them into whatever's trending on social media this week. Updating a classic doesn't mean mocking what made it special. You can modernize a story without tearing down the magic that got people hooked in the first place. You can build up strong characters without turning them into preachy mouthpieces for every hot take online. That's not storytelling. It's brand management. The secret? It's always been love. Love for the original material, love for the fans, love for the craft. So what happens next? Maybe Disney finally wakes up. Maybe they keep throwing millions at reboots until the walls close in and the budgets start bleeding. Either way, the audience has made it loud and clear. If there's no love in it, they're not buying it. But one thing's crystal clear right now. Audiences are done settling. They're not handing over their time, energy, or cash to movies that talk down to them or treat their love like it's guaranteed. People are showing up for stories that respect them, stories that actually care. And Hollywood? Better take notes before the next blockbuster bombs harder than the last. So drop your thoughts in the comments. Did Rachel Zegler get unfair heat, or did she let the spotlight get to her head? Was it all ego? And should Disney finally chill on the remakes and give us something fresh, or at the very least stop fixing stories that were never broken to begin with? Let's talk about it below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It helps a ton and keeps the chaos coming. Thanks for kicking it with me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.